Welcome to Grey County Life. I'm JC Coutts.
I'm Sarah Carmichael. Joining us on the show today will be Patty Smith talking about the upcoming first annual Witches Dance. Also, Dave Shorey from Georgian College will be in studio to speak about the upcoming open house. And Renee from the Owen Animal Shelter will be joining us as well with a pet that is looking for a forever home. How have you been?
I've been good. Busy as always. Of course, we were at the Owen Sound Attack game sort of on Sunday. This past Sunday, you were working in the stands. I was on the broadcast crew here on Rogers TV. Busy weekend for the Attack.
Yes, they were on the road Friday night, and then they were at home Saturday and Sunday. And then this coming Saturday, it's Hockey Fights Cancer Night.
Yeah, that's an exciting game every year. An emotional game, of course, because people can put names of people they know that have battled cancer onto the jerseys the players are going to wear on the ice. It's a big fundraiser as well for the Canadian Cancer Society. Yeah,
they also had a celebrity serve night about 2 weeks ago at the Boston Pizza, and they had the Attack players actually helping the servers at Boston Pizza to serve the diners. And I bet you it was a real learning experience for the players because, well, they obviously move fast on the ice, but working in a restaurant, you got to move pretty fast, to get the drinks and food to the table. So I bet they were definitely impressed. And of course, it was great to see everybody coming out. 10% of sales from that event donated to the Hockey Fights Cancer campaign, which is great. But yeah, if you are interested, make sure you go to tickets.attackhockey.com to grab yourself some tickets for this Saturday's game as they're going to be taking on the Kitchener Rangers.
Yeah, very excited about it. And I know a lot of people are also excited about interim coach Darren Rumble now, who's also new behind the bench. Of course, Nick Kennedy's been doing a great job on Attack Wrap here on Rogers TV to cover that. And we'll wish Darren the best as the season rolls on, and the Attack have been looking pretty good.
Yeah, they have been. Carter George actually just had his first OHL shutout, which is pretty cool. He's like 16 years old.
That's right.
He's a baby.
It's so weird for me to have to interview the players here on Rogers TV during the games.
When you're old enough to be their dad.
Number one, realize that. Thank you. And also know that they're not just a couple years younger than me like I think. So, and I'm trying to connect, and it's like, hey, you remember when Gretzky scored that goal against, and they're like, no.
They weren't alive yet.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a learning curve for sure, but it is a lot of fun and great kids too. So respectful.
They're so cool.
Yeah.
I'm picturing you like trying to relate to them, be like, so, TikTok?
Is this still a thing?
Am I being sus right now? I don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah, it's a great group of kids, and they're doing super well. And of course, the community, look forward to continuing to cheer them on. But hopefully, we'll see lots of people this weekend at the Bay Shore. Now, I actually did something way out of my comfort zone.
Oh?
I watched a scary movie.
Really?
Yeah.
I know you hate those.
I hate them so much. I do not watch scary movies. I haven't since I was really little because I actually got nightmares from them. I still get nightmares from them, even though I'm almost 40. I still can't do it. I think it stems from watching The Wizard of Oz too many times. Every day, okay, I'm not kidding, every day I went to kindergarten, and this was half-day kindergarten. I went to Sydenham. I'd come home at lunchtime on the bus, and I would watch The Wizard of Oz while I ate my lunch, right? And anytime the flying monkeys would come into scene, I would have to get my mom to come and sit with me while the flying monkeys were on the screen because they terrified me. And I think that's honestly maybe why I still have a major fear when it comes to scary movies. But I made an exception, and I went to a movie screening of Cult Hero at Grey Roots Museum last week. And if you're not familiar, Cult Hero it's kind of like a comedy horror movie, if you will. And it was actually filmed right here in our community. So I thought, you know what? I'll be able to watch it because I feel like I'll be able to see the familiar surroundings. So it'll help me in my brain, like, associate this as this is just a movie, like this isn't real. And I was right, it definitely helped. But the majority of the film was actually done at Moreland Place, which is right beside Grey Roots Museum. Pretty much anybody from around this area has probably been there for family photos or graduation photos or wedding photos. It's a very popular backdrop for that. And so it was a perfect spot for this particular movie to be kind of centered. And it was awesome to see so many people at the Grey Roots Museum. Full confession, first time I'd ever been to the Grey Roots Museum.
Really?
I know. I'd never been there before. I've promoted events. I've encouraged other people to go there, but I'd never gone. And I think it's because I don't have kids. So I kind of felt weird, like going to the museum when there's like for activities when it's for kids, right? And I'm just like, I didn't want to be that weird lady who's just there, you know? So I thought going to the Grey Roots Museum for a movie night made more sense, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
Have you seen Cold Hero?
I have not seen it. I want to see it. I know that there's quite a few members of the Roxy Theater family are making appearances in it. So, and I mean maybe that helps you too if you see the on screen. And like, well, I know that they're still alive and they're fine because I saw them last week at Tim's. So they got to be okay.
Yeah.
So maybe that helps you not be as scared when you watch the movie.
Oh, I'm so scared of scary movies. And I should say that if you like scary movies, watch your streaming services because, you know, in anticipation of Halloween, which is coming up next week, they're adding a whole bunch of scary movies. Oh, yeah. And every time I turn on Netflix, it's like recommended for you, Saw. Why? Why would that be recommended for me? I do not watch scary movies. I never have on my streaming services. So I actually blame Ryan because he will watch scary movies. And so he's messed up my algorithm.
Yeah, no, I've never been a fan either. And you attribute it to the Wizard of Oz, which is an odd movie to attribute not liking scary movies.
It's the flying monkeys. They're terrifying when you're 5.
I attribute it to my next door neighbor, Darren, who was 2 years younger than me. And growing up, he had like the collection of all the Friday the 13th movies. Oh. And he was allowed to rent whatever movies he wanted. He had the cool parents. And those scared the crap out of me, to be honest with you, and I've never gone back since. Can't do them.
I watched like 10 minutes of The Exorcist, like the original Exorcist, in grade 7 at my friend Tanya's house. Now, she lived out on the Derry line, middle of nowhere, right? And her basement was like pitch black, and we started watching this movie. I couldn't get more than 10 minutes, and I had to turn all the lights on, and like I had to be like, this movie night's over. Like, I need to go home.
Well, hopefully everyone's not too scared because our first guest is a witch coming up on Grey County Life this week. Patty Smith is going to be here momentarily to talk about the first ever Witches Dance, which is a fundraiser. We're going to learn more about that coming up next on Grey County Life on Rogers TV.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
It'd be a tragedy if we were losing one person to drug overdose every day. 5, 7, or 12 people? That would be unimaginable. But in Canada, we lose 20 people to overdose every single day. That's a crisis. Donate to help CAMH face addiction head on.
For 25 years, you've been helping to make our roads safer by doing the right thing. You've been the designated driver, you've stayed over, called home, you've called a cab or a friend, and planned ahead. Let's keep doing the right thing. Support sober driving by getting yourself and your friends home safely.
Do the right thing.
Visit ArriveAlive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive. Drive sober.
Are you the type who would keep going or stop? It's not easy to stop when you have an addiction. Legalizing cannabis won't stop addiction. It trivializes its consumption. Let's be vigilant. If you need help, visit portage.ca.
And welcome back to Grey County Life. Of course, Halloween is upon us. That is the time of ghosts and witches, and we're going to talk about one of those groups right now, one that also has a charity angle to it. Patty Smith is our guest. Good morning, Patty. How are you today?
Good morning. How are you?
Very good. Thank you for being here to talk about the first annual Witches Dance. This is going to be happening October 29th at the Kelso Beach Amphitheater.
Right.
You are organizing this event, and as you viewers can probably tell, you've dressed the part for the event. Tell us what made you interested in witches, first of all, Patty?
Actually, I just started getting interested in witches about a year ago, thinking maybe that's what I'm going to do in my retirement, become a witch. So I got into learning a lot of things up from YouTube, from TikTok, just from everywhere, Pinterest, and there's a lot of information out there. So I ran across this video that is called, the song is called Shootin' Dinin' Speck. And I don't know, I was watching it and I thought, what a cute dance that I'd like to do. But I just thought that, it'll just go with what I'm doing, the dance, the whole witchcraft aesthetic that everybody's doing these days. And I got into the history of witches, and I have to tell you that made me cry a little bit, because it's very sad, because there's 80,000 women, innocent women, were tortured and then burned at the stake in Europe between the 14th and the 17th century. And then in Salem in 1692, there were only 20 witches, and they were hung in Salem. And it was a civil crime more, whereas in Europe it was more of a religious crime. Long history there. It's a long, sad, actually misogynistic, patriarchal, bad history there.
Definitely a bit of a dark history, but now things have changed. We no longer go after witches anymore. In fact, now we can celebrate witches and celebrate essentially what is a festival of witches that's going to be coming on October 29th. What will people be able to see and do at the festival?
So the festival starts at noon till 4. It's during the day, so it's not scary for the kids. We're welcoming all the family members. And so you can come dressed as a witch and with your broom and enjoy and perform in the dance if you like. We do have some tutorials on October 22nd and October 28th at the amphitheater itself, if you want to come and learn and do some practicing. Also, there's tutorials on YouTube that anybody can go to. You just go to Witches Dance, that's it, Witches Dance, or Witches Dance tutorial, and you can learn it. And it's only a few steps, it's simple. It was originated by this coven in Germany who found this song by Peter Fox, and they decided to do the dance to it during a festival that takes place in the spring about fertility, and it's called a Walpurgis Festival, and it's just a fertility festival in Germany. So they started dancing it, and so I thought, well, I'd like to do that in our town too, that'd be fun. And I thought, well, how do I get people there? And I called up the Crystal from the Women's Center, and because I thought I'd like to do it for the Women's Center, because it's about empowerment. Witches and the pairing of the witches and the Women's Center would be perfect. And a friend of mine said, oh, you better ask them, because, witches, people have different impressions of witches, which was taught to us to be afraid of witches many years ago, instead of maybe the people that burned them at the stake. Let's be afraid of the mean old witches who actually looked witchy and mean and old because they were tortured for so long. And so they had scars and terrible, their fingers were all gnarled up because of the torture of the thumb spikes or whatever they're called. Anyway, so I forget where I was at there.
I think you're leading into the reason why you decided to make this a fundraiser for the women.
Oh, yes, because of the empowerment and the pairing. So I called Crystal, and she said, wow, that would be fantastic. We're so into that too. So they were thrilled that I am doing it for the Women's Center, and they're right on board. It's great.
That's fantastic. there's going to be a lot of different little events that are going to be a part of this larger day that's going to be happening on October 29th. Does the entire event have like one ticket price attached to it, or will things be individually priced? Like, for example, I know there's going to be tarot reading, for example.
Right, so the whole event is by donation only, and because we wanted to include everybody. But there will be like a tarot reader that might charge maybe $10. Part of that will go to the Women's Center, and there'll be a juggler, and so the dances will happen every 20 minutes. A friend of mine is a good cackler, and she's going to get up in the microphone and say, "Time to boogie, witches!" And then all the witches will be we're hanging around. Well, it'll be like a flash mob, and it's going to be every 20 minutes. So we'll just flash mob the dance, and it has to do with the broom. We have to, and there's broom making booth too, and the juggler. We're having some djembe drumming run by Tara McKenzie of the McKenzie Blues Band, and Amber Brown, and there'll be psychic reading. There'll be a kids craft table, and a few other things. Of some vendors. I have a food truck coming, of course, too, and.
Awesome. So if people don't have a broom at home, they can make one when they get there.
Oh, they can, but I tell you, it's simple. Just go out foraging. You just find yourself a long stick, about 5 feet long, and a bunch of twigs. Like, see, this started with twigs.
Okay.
And like just grasses.
Yeah.
Twigs and grasses, and then I just decorated it. You can decorate it all you want. A lot of people put lights on it all the way up, but you do have to there's some moves that go like this, and there's a little twerking and things with the steps and the dance. The dance, actually, if you translate it to English, it's called "Shake Your Bacon." Okay. And there's a lot of interesting lyrics to it, but it's pretty fun. It's a lot of fun.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, definitely, I think the Harry Potter fans would probably be interested in the broom making for
They
sure.
should all come.
Yes, they should all come and enjoy the big day on the 29th on the Sunday over at the Kelso Beach Amphitheater. Let's talk about being a witch that you have become. Tell us a little bit more about that. Do you have special powers? Can you turn me into a toad if I misbehave?
Oh, I only wish. I only wish. There is a impression about the spell work, but witches, what I've been learning about witches is really we treat the earth, we worship the earth, we worship what the earth gives us, and so herbs, right? The crystals from the earth, the herbs from the earth, and nature, and like there's certain ceremonies through the year. It has to do with spring. It has to do with the full moon. It all has to do with what the earth is given us. So a spell really is the same as a prayer. It's an intention, but it's using the tools of the earth to help with instead of, the praying per se.
Yeah.
And it's not anti-Christian at all, at all. It's just another way to promote your intentions, and for good only. I have to say that it's for good only. There's several mottos about that.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
it's not like the old tales. You're not. It's not the old German tales of bringing children into the candy-coated house. No, nothing like that.
No, witches are healers. They're mothers, they're sisters. Yeah, they're healers.
So this is year one for this festival. Obviously, a lot to learn. Anytime you put something on like this, do you need a little bit of help with this? Are you looking for volunteers to help you out?
I am looking for volunteers. I'm glad you mentioned that, and they can get a hold of me actually through the Facebook page called Witches Dance 2023, and it's easy to get a hold of me through that. There's also on the posters that are around online and whatnot, and all over town. I've put them in the grocery stores, and that they can find them there. So yes, volunteers for anything like helping give out treats to the children, or I still need some silent auction items, which would be really helpful. And you can just contact me for that too. If you'd like to donate any silent auction items at all. My daughter's a tattoo artist, so her tattoo place, Sugar Shack Tattoo in Kincardine, they're giving us a $200 gift certificate for tattooing. So that'll be one of the items on the auction board.
Awesome. And all the proceeds go to the Women's Center.
All the proceeds go to the Women's Center, yep.
Wow. I'm very intrigued by the tarot card reading and also the psychic readings.
The psychics, yes.
Now, I have had my tarot cards read a few times over the years at events, and they've been pretty spot on.
Really?
Yes. But I've never had a psychic reading, but I've always been very curious. So that alone is enticing me to check this out, because I'm
Great.
always curious to find out what the future has in store for me.
Are you allowed to reveal that, or is the tarot card thing something that's a personal thing that you have to keep to yourself? Are you allowed to say what they got right?
I think it's up to the person if they want to share. I mean, my
Right.
first tarot card reading was back in like 2009. And I remember I was at an event in Port Elgin, and I had this tarot card. I think it was like $10 or something like that. And I remember her telling me, the person that you're with is not the person that you should be with.
No.
Yeah, because I had a boyfriend at the time.
Oh.
And basically she kind of was like, yeah, he's nice and all that, but he's not the one. And lo and behold, like maybe a year later, we broke up. And I learned, now years down the road that, yeah, like, because I mean, initially it was like, oh, that's a bummer, that relationship didn't work out. But then as years go by, you realize like, yeah, that really wasn't the right person for me. So, at the time when the tarot card reader said that, I was like kind of taken back and almost, not to say offended, but I was almost like, you're wrong, it was defensive. But she was right.
And she wasn't even really talking about the future. She was talking about the now. This
Yeah.
person isn't.
Yeah.
She was using her intuition.
Yeah.
The cards are one thing, but it's the person that's reading. They have a lot of experience, and they really know how to use their intuition. That's what a lot of what witchcraft is about too.
Right.
Is getting in touch and tapping into your intuition, which we all have, but we have to learn how to manifest.
Right. Yeah.
Is that primarily the thing that makes you a candidate to be a good witch? Is you got a great intuition, or maybe you, do you sense things as a result of that, or what other characteristics would make someone know that I'm meant to be a witch?
Well, some people think there's a lot of heredity in it. If you find out that your mother, your grandmother, or somebody was a witch, you can look into that. Or sometimes people go, oh, if you love the moon, maybe you're a witch. If you love foraging in the woods, if you love walking through the woods, maybe you're a witch. You could be a kitchen witch, you could be a green witch because you love herbs. Then there's lots of different kinds of witches that way too.
Several variations.
Yes, several, many variations.
Trying to think of what type of witch I would be.
You really do like animals, and
I
you like
do.
to cook a lot. So
I
I don't,
do.
I don't know if there's something in there. Is there a particular brand of witch that's
Or
really
you
good
can
with
be an
animals?
eclectic witch,
A
which
nurturing
is a little
witch.
of everything. That we're all nurturing.
Yes.
That sounds right.
But you sound like you're an eclectic witch.
I'm an eclectic witch. Perfect.
Well, I think I'm going to have to go to this first of all just to get the tarot reading done, because now you've got me intrigued. You've been multiple times
Yes.
now, and you say that they're right a lot.
Yes.
So that is one aspect that's going to be there. Broom making, juggling, psychic readings will be happening as well.
Djembe drumming.
Right.
Bring your djembe drum if anybody knows how to drum or whatever.
Where does one get one of those drums? Is it something easy for anyone to learn, or do you need a little bit of practice with
You
one?
can go to Trevor up at, what's it called? The music store.
Long McQuaid?
Yes, Long and McQuaid. Go up there, and they have a few djembe drums. They can. Trevor will be there that day, and I'm not going to tell you what his role is yet. That's a secret.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but he does have a long beard, so that's a hint.
We've got probably about 3 minutes left, Patty. Is there anything else that we need to know about this event or about being a witch?
Okay. I think you should bring your, you might have to bring a chair because, you know, the amphitheater, it's just, there are places to sit. But if it's raining or whatever, I think I've made room so that everybody can go back underneath that long shelter at the back. I'm putting the booths in there as well, so it'll be pretty concise and, you know, compact. And come in through the south end of the park, the very first driveway. We'll have signs up and everything. So it's from 12 to 4. And yes, like I said, if the weather is kind of iffy, and also just bring your kids, bring the whole family, dress as a witch if you want. There will be some instructional times between the every 20-minute dancing. We will be teaching them too, so if you want to just join in, if you have a broom, you can join in.
Awesome. Will there be broom parking allotted?
We'll allot for some broom parking for sure.
All right. There's a Facebook page, of course, that has event information as well. Anywhere else people can look for information if they're trying to find it?
Well, like I said, I've got the flyers all over town, and then the Facebook pages. And I put it in and around Owen Sound on Facebook. I put it there too. And I'm going to contact the Sun-Times as well.
Okay.
About it.
And are there any, it's always good to give thanks where thanks is due when it comes to sponsors who step up and help out with events like this, especially when they're first time events to get off the ground. Has any sponsor stepped up to help you so far?
Well, like I said, the tattoo, what's it called?
Sugar Shack?
Sugar Shack tattoo. I keep forgetting the name.
I love the name. That's why I'm remembering.
Yeah, that's why you remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter works there. So, but no, like it's no specific sponsors. It's just that silent auction donators, and I'd like to thank anybody that does that. That'll be great. And like I said, I was going to have a committee, but it turns out I just have a list.
A committee of one, plus some hopefully some more volunteers.
Yes. So if anybody wants to help, that'd be great.
All right. Well, if you are someone that does want to help, Patty would definitely appreciate that help. Volunteers are needed for the first annual Witches Dance, which is going to be happening coming up on Sunday, October 29th at the Kelso Beach Amphitheater. This is, of course, a fundraising event for the Women's Center of Grey Bruce, so please plan to attend the event. It's all by donation, Patty?
All by donation.
All by donation, and they will go to support Women's Center of Grey Bruce. We wish you the best of luck coming up at the event, Patty.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to Patty Smith for joining us. Stay tuned on Grey County Life. Coming up, we'll be learning more about Georgian College and their upcoming open house. That's next.
I don't care what the law is. I will never be a slave. That word, I hate it. It rests on my tongue like rot.
Peter, how does it feel to get paid for your work?
There are rumors freedom's coming for us all.
Freedom, you know that's all I want.
Chloe, careful. Real men would rather sell you across the river to America than let you go free.
Then I'll run.
I've run before. Maybe this time for good.
No! Just get her into a boat! No!
Chloe! Chloe, no!
Word of Chloe Cooley's resistance led to Canada's first legislation limiting slavery. After 200 years, slavery was abolished in Canada in 1834.
Tune in next week on Grey County Life. We'll meet some special people to talk about some exciting upcoming local events.
And Renee from the Owen Sound Animal Shelter will be joining us with an adoptable pet. Hope you'll join us.
Hey, I'm Jake Crawford. And I'm Cedric Gano. And make sure you tune in on Attack Rap every week on Rogers TV to make sure you know what's going on with your Owen Sound Attack.
welcome back to Grey County Life. Joining us from Georgian College, the executive director of the Grey Bruce campus of Georgian College is Dave Shorey. Hi, Dave.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Good. Welcome, welcome. We are so excited to have you. Me especially, because I've known you for a very long time.
Yeah, we go back.
About 20 years.
Yeah, we go way back.
Maybe a little bit longer than that, because we both, of course, grew up here in Owen Sound, and we both, ventured out into the world and did other things, and we've both come back. And I'm working in the community. You're now at Georgian College, and how has that been for you coming back to your hometown?
It's been really special.
Yeah.
Yeah. I grew up in Southampton, went to high school in Owen Sound. So Owen Sound has always been a community for me, and in a lot of ways was my second home growing up. It's been special. It's been both personal and professional. I've been working in post-secondary education since I left here, back when I finished high school. And the opportunity to come back and advance post-secondary education in Grey and Bruce County, it's a special thing. As I said, it's personal and professional. So I really enjoyed it. I just had my 2-year anniversary. What date is it today? We're a couple days off from my 2-year anniversary, so I'm really enjoying it here.
Awesome, and we're super lucky to have Georgian College campus right here in Owen Sound. It offers so many great programs and opportunities for students. It's a big draw for people to move to our community to pursue their post-secondary, and you're all about promoting, and so having these open houses, like one coming up in November, is super important. So what can people expect at this? Like, talk us through what a typical open house looks like.
Yeah, so our open house is Saturday, November 18th. It's from 9 a.m. until 12 noon at our campus in Owen Sound. We actually have an open house happening across all of our 7 campuses on the same day, but for the purposes of what we're focused on here, 9 until noon. The way that you can really experience the open house is to come in, meet with faculty, meet with other students. We have industry partners that are in as well, because we're so deeply connected to the regional economy. When I think about colleges, we're really responsible for social and economic development and the ways in which we can help people explore possible futures. What you've said in terms of what we offer isn't always widely understood. And that's certainly what I'm on the road, pounding the pavement, trying to communicate to folks, that we have a full service campus. And what full service means is we have counseling, accessible learning, Indigenous Resource Center, academic upgrading if you don't yet have your OSSD, your high school diploma. I mean, I could go on and on. Workout facility, beautiful gym. And yeah, I could actually go on, so I won't. I'll just say that a full service campus is not what we're always known for or is understood, but that's such a critical piece to student success.
Right.
When we do have people of all ages and stages in their career. We have people that are coming directly from high school, people have taken some time off, people are in their 40s, 50s, into their 60s that are looking at whether it's a difference in career or upskilling and upgrading. So you can see all of that in person when you're coming to the open house. And it's hard to really understand and appreciate unless you get there. We have in effect 5-6 areas of real focus, and so you'll be able to experience those. Skilled trades is a big piece of what we offer. We have over 500 apprentices now on our campus. Motive, service, construction, and industrial trades, so all 4 sectors. That's a big deal for our region.
Yeah.
We know that there's a lot of employment opportunity in the skilled trades. So those that are already employed, those are apprentices. You can only be apprentices if you're employed, right? So that means that we're really helping local industry by providing apprenticeship education close to home. That means their employees are going home at night. For folks that are looking for access to something that allows them to drive home at night, that's a big deal. So we offer a lot there, as well as our techniques programs, welding techniques, carpentry techniques, electrical techniques. Those programs actually, if you take our 8-month techniques programs, you're exempt from your level 1 in-class apprenticeship. That's just new as of March. I could go into more detail. I won't right now. Come to the open house and we'll talk you really through it. But those are the kind of things that we'll be able to explore and help people understand. That's a tremendous value add for students and for employers. Marine research and education is a big piece to our history. We actually started training in the marine sector in the early 70s. So we have a long history there. The province just released the Ontario Marine Strategy. One of the key pillars is around talent development. And again, a lot of people don't know the kind of opportunities in the marine sector. We already see a shortage of labor in that sector. It's only going to grow. The jobs are extremely well paid, and we offer both post-secondary programming and upgrading on our campus. Health and wellness, we just launched our Honors Bachelor of Science last fall, so we're into our second year on that. Brand new health and wellness wing, much to the thanks of many community partners. They made it possible, so we'll be able to talk about our full suite of health and wellness programs, our growth in the energy sector, and the programs we're offering there, as well as in business, construction, manufacturing as well. So I know I gave a bit of a rundown as to what we offer, but it's really hard to imagine unless you're physically on campus. So we're opening our doors and would love to see everybody.
Right, and I know that when people are there, they can take a tour of the building itself and all these different wings that you've mentioned.
Yep.
They can talk to, admissions about the application process.
Correct.
They could even fill out an application and have that, submitted day of if they find, if they've been thinking about a program already.
Correct.
They can pull the trigger and apply that day.
And we will pay for your application if you do that day.
Okay.
So come to campus. You like what you see, you can complete your application. We'll pay the fee for your application processing.
Wow.
Yeah, we also, you're right around tours. We also are running a try a trade event during our open house, because a lot of folks are hearing a lot of great opportunities in in the skilled trades, and so we're running the try a trade event because that can give you some hands-on experience. Either if you've done it before, you're not quite sure what you're interested in. We do have a fourth techniques program called Construction Techniques, which is an 8-month program. It's a sampling of the trades. And so you can kind of expect that when we come to the Try a Trade event, November 18th, that you can actually get your hands on the tools and be able to try a little bit of that in the way that we have our 8-month sort of intro to the trades techniques program.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know that you spoke about the fact that you've come back to the area. Both of you have, because of course you love it here and it's a great place to live. I came back to the area as well, even though I'm not originally from here, but I'm like, that place is great. I'm going back there someday. But a lot of people, I think the college experience, the university experience, the post-secondary experience, they think I've got to go somewhere else to get that. What are the benefits of staying at home and getting that experience?
Right. Well, I worked in the university sector for 20 years. So I have spent time in that space, and I've worked across Canada and actually across North America with other post-secondary institutions, mainly in the university space. So stepping into Georgian College and being able to learn a lot more about the college sector, what I've really grown to appreciate very quickly is, one, the benefit of studying local. We see the quality of programming is very high. So you can have access to high quality post-secondary education really close in Grey Bruce. That to me is a really strong sell. And that it's industry connected, that we are working with employers to ensure that what they are graduating with as our students, or what they're studying, aligns well with industry need. Because my promise to my community is that we're working hard with employers to understand where the opportunity is, and with employers to understand whether our curriculum lines up with jobs.
Right. Because how many times have you heard, people going and spending 2-4 years in post-secondary, leaving with a diploma, and they're like, now what do I do with this? What do I do with this degree? How do I put this into a job? How do I put this into real life? So having those connections and being able to say, yes, if you take this program, it can lead you to X, YZ type of employment, and here are some, people to contact. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. As much as we can broker that, we will. I mean, we can never guarantee a job.
Right.
It's more to say we're trying to set the conditions up as favorably as possible for people to succeed. I'd say the other thing is, being a full-service campus is actually a pretty rare asset in rural Ontario, and we're principally a rural-serving campus, and so the ways in which people can access in-person supports, as well as online, but a lot of the in-person supports, that's a pretty rare asset. We also are offering a full spectrum of programs. So we have the Center for Marine Training and Research. We have between 1,500 and 2,000 mariners currently employed in the marine sector coming, getting marine emergency duties, upskilling. We train pilots. Not just pilots for boats, but not just pilots for planes, but pilots for boats.
Right.
So pilotage certification. So we have these short modular programs all the way up to 1, 2, 3, 4-year programs. So diploma, advanced diploma, honors degree, and then graduate education, things like project management. So that full spectrum, I think, is really quite special. And that is something that I'm proud of Georgian College writ large being able to offer, that we are able to serve our community in that kind of way. we are 7 campuses. We can leverage a lot of expertise in programming from across our network and be able to offer it with demand out this way too. So, I mean, the last thing I'll say is, what's not understood, I think, for colleges, we have evolved really even in the last 5 years, and we're going to be different 10 years from now than we are today. And in particular, it's because of that full suite of offerings, but also that we are really engaged in applied research. And research has been something that's been associated with the university sector for a long time, a lot of discovery-based research. We really do industry-connected research. And so, you know, you're working with industry in the region that might have problems that they're having a hard time solving. We can engage faculty expertise, student expertise. So we're getting these really hands-on experiences locally that helps to advance our economy, but also great opportunities for our students to learn.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to ask a question about people that are thinking about maybe going back because they've had a career for some time and they're thinking about now maybe changing their career.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've thought about from time to time. Yeah. I'd be lying if I didn't say I hadn't been on the Georgian College site looking at part-time options and online options. You offer both for people that maybe still have to have a life while trying to learn and better themselves so that they can will be successful in.
Right, okay. Well, I would say that, you know, a lot of the business programming that we see has moved, at least in part, online. Mm-hmm. You can do a lot of the delivery of that, and so you see people, again, wherever they might be in their lives, engaged in a lot more of that online learning. We have it's called GC Flex, Georgian College Flex. That's basically a multimodal way of delivering our programming, which means that you can be a student that's in person all the time, be in person half the time, or studying online full time. So it's really flexible in terms of our format. So if anyone's looking on our website and they see GC Flex as there's some notes around that, that's what that means. And we actually have a lot of program offerings that take that GC Flex format. Some are exclusively online as well. I would say that for people who are thinking about either changing career or maybe it's upskilling, we know a lot of people have moved up to this region because a spouse or partner has secured employment up here, and others are not sure yet what they might want to do. Graduate certifications are short, they're focused, almost always online but not exclusively, and they are really industry connected. And so an example would be something like project management. We have a graduate certification in project management, or global supply chain, or artificial intelligence, or big data analytics. These are all programs that students are realizing a lot of success in, and we have students that are enrolled all the way up to PhDs that are taking these grad certs because this is something that's really getting them connected to the workforce.
Wow.
Another question a lot of people would present itself as a barrier if they're thinking about going to post-secondary education after high school, or if they're thinking about re-upping. It probably cost would be something that people think of as a barrier. Of course, at the open house, you're going to have financial aid. People are going to be there. They're going to talk about options, bursaries available, things like that.
Yes.
For people that are new, for people that are thinking about going back, what are some of the key things for them to keep in mind when they're going to think, how am I going to pay for this?
Well, thank you for that question. It's a great question. I think everyone is considering today the cost of living, the cost of education. That is a ubiquitous experience. It's a universal experience. What we're finding is because of really generous partners in industry, private partners, people in our community that are providing funds to support through bursaries and scholarships, it's really reducing the cost of education for a lot of students. Ontario colleges are already the second cheapest in tuition across the country. So we're already really low in terms of our cost for enrollment. But then you take a look at our access to bursaries and scholarships, and that really facilitates a lot of access and considerations around books and around living expenses. So we're set up really well. And you're right, at the open house, we can speak directly to folks that can support with financial assistance. But the other thing I really want to highlight, and this was just confirmed a couple days ago, for a student who's enrolled and completes the practical nursing program, which is a 2-year diploma, or the 4-year Honors Bachelor of Science in Nursing program on our Owen Sound campus, and this is exclusive to our Owen Sound campus, they can apply for the Learn and Stay grant. That's provincially provided. I think it's a brilliant program. What it means is that if you work in Greater Bruce County for 1 year after your practical nursing program or 2 years after the Bachelor of Science program, your tuition is completely paid for the full duration of your studies. So a 4-year honors Bachelor of Science degree in nursing, if you work in the area for 2 years afterwards in the healthcare sector, is completely paid for.
Yeah, and it's wild because, you know, that 2 years that you spend working, you're also being paid.
Exactly.
So it's not like you have to like work for free for those 2 years. Like you're still going to collect a salary while also not, you know, getting that 4-year program covered. Actually, my stepdaughter's in that program.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, so she's just started it
awesome.
last month in that 4-year program, and that was a huge draw for her. You know, being able to stay at home while going to school saves on living expenses and just makes it a little bit less stressful, right? Because she's in familiar surroundings. Because I know a lot of people, when they go to college or university, they're going hours away from home. Like I moved to Oshawa, and you were Waterloo?
I was at Laurier.
Laurier, yeah. Okay, so, you know, you're a few hours away. You're not familiar with the area, so having to, you know, navigate a new city and also go to school and, you know, cook for yourself and clean for yourself, this can all be very stressful.
Yes.
So being able to stay at home while also pursuing your post-secondary is just so convenient, and it allows you to, you know, feel comfortable while not having to add on that extra stress that, you know, you already might be having because of the nerves of going to college or university. But yeah, she's loving it so far, and like she's just started doing a placement in a retirement home in Durham. So that's part of her curriculum. So she's doing that, and yeah, that was a huge draw for her to go to Georgian, was to be able to get into that, like that stay and learn program.
Yeah, it's a tremendous asset, and I'll only add that you've just highlighted experiential learning or work integrated learning is a critical piece to our programs. Almost all have some sort of work placement because we want our graduates to be work ready.
Yeah.
And also, we're not compromising quality. Right? When we talk about rural institutions, when we talk about, I think there's sometimes the assumption that we're compromising on quality. State-of-the-art facility for our health and wellness programming, our full range of health and wellness programming. And we have assets that, you know, we've been told that other institutions don't have, and we have that right in Owen Sound. So we're not compromising on quality. I think that's an important piece to keep in mind.
Amazing. It is going to be a great opportunity for people to learn. That open house at the Owen Sound campus, as well as the other campuses across the province, if that's closer to home from wherever you're watching. But it's going to be happening on November 18th, and that's from 9 to noon. And if people want more details, georgiancollege.ca.
You got it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dave, for coming in. Really appreciate all the information. So much good info. Stay with us. We're going to be talking to Renee from the Owen Sound Animal Shelter next about an adoptable pet.
October 5th, 2014, my daughter was hit by a train. She was walking along the sides of the tracks, and it shattered her world.
I belong here.
You may think I don't fit in.
That I don't look the part.
But to me, curling is more than a sport.
It's my community.
Together, we can sweep away the barriers.
Create spaces where we all belong.
And experience the joy of curling.
I belong here.
We belong here.
We unite, and united we curl.
Hi, I'm Gord Chapman. This is Ken Williams, and we're co-hosts of Weekend in the Rink on Rogers TV. Great minor hockey being played on Saturday afternoon. We got a great lineup this year, Ken.
Looking forward to another great season, Gord. The hockey's been fantastic over the last couple of years, and why would this year be any different? Looking forward to some great hockey. Rogers, Weekend at the Rink.
Hello, Grey County. I'm your warden, Brian Milne. Want to be the first to know about news, services, and decisions in your community? Watch Grey County Council meetings live from the comfort of your living room, right here on Rogers TV, Grey County.
Welcome back to Grey County Life. Joining us now is Renee from the Owen Sound Animal Shelter, and she has brought a very special guest.
He's a biggins.
Where did you find this giant rabbit, Renee?
Well, this giant bunny, I'm going to see if I can stand him up a little bit so we can
Oh,
see
my
just how giant
goodness.
this bunny is Bosco. Bosco, the house rabbit, who is almost the size of a house. Bosco has come to us as an owner surrender, unfortunately. Bosco's people lost their apartment, which is super sad, and needed to downsize, and Bosco was used to having his own bedroom. So, Bosco's he's got some big requirements.
So he's lived in luxury before.
He has, and he's a lovely bunny. And we'll talk about all the reasons why somebody might want a bunny for sure. But I mean, if you're looking perhaps for a bunny and you haven't considered something so jumbo, I understand. No pressure, we'll have more.
Yeah.
But in Bosco's case, we need somebody who wants a really big bunny. And the reason that's important is we'd really like to see him free range again.
Right.
At the animal shelter right now, he's not a very happy bunny because we've got him confined to a short space, right? The reason for this, of course, is obvious. He can be food.
It's his safety.
Plug your ears, buddy. You can
Yes,
be food.
there are other animals that see you as a meal.
That's right. So we're not going to talk about that, but he does come with a cage, but we really, really would like to see him doing the free range thing because he's way too big. Like, unless you're going to get him an X pen the size of your living room, he really should be free roaming. He is a neutered male, which is awesome. And he is litter trained, which is super important when you're going to be a free roaming rabbit.
Yeah.
You use the box. And as you can see, he's quite content and easy to just do his own thing. To be honest, I'm going to say this, he's going to take
He's
on
just
off.
going to jump
but
off
so
the couch.
far, we're so good.
What type of bunny is he?
A giant bunny.
Oh, he's just a giant. Just giant
well,
bunny.
this is what I'm calling him.
I didn't know if there was a certain breed.
So there are giant breeds.
Okay.
There's a breed called a Flemish. There's a Netherland giant. There's like all sorts of giants.
Right.
He is not a purebred.
Okay.
He is a giant something
He's
mixture.
a giant mutt.
So I'm just calling him a giant bunny. He's a giant bunny. He is about 2 years of age. Rabbits live to be about 8. That is one reason why you might want a rabbit. Another reason you might want a rabbit, perhaps you have an allergy to cats. This is very much a cat. And I know that's a very odd thing to say, but it's going to poop in a litter box. It's going to sit with you on the couch. It's going to come when it's called. He'd actually play fetch, and apparently Bosco's quite good at it. Not tried, but apparently he can. He is also trained to wear a harness, so you could take him out for walks. See, he's basically a cat. And it is a very good alternative for somebody who maybe doesn't want the 20-year commitment.
Yeah.
It would be a good alternative for somebody who has an allergy to cats. Simple.
I'm
Simple
picturing
solution.
him being walked on a harness right now.
Yes.
It's making me so happy.
What is the
Right?
range of a
Right.
giant bunny? Can I take him out for like 2K for a walk? Like, how many steps are me and Bosco getting in here?
Sure. Well, you're going to let him lead, and you're going to walk all day. they don't stop. It's just going to be stop and go and stop and go. You're
Or
going to learn
hop and go.
Hop and go.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, he doesn't have the same requirements for exercise, obviously, as a dog and a cat.
Yeah.
The hopping around the house is a lot of exercise, which is good. Of course, there are things in having a house rabbit that need to be considered. The house needs to be bunny proof. They chew. You don't want to put anything close to the ground that you love.
Yeah, nothing you're attached to.
Because he might. Additionally, they can sometimes dig. So you need to be aware that, again, you might find little holes in random places. If you're in love with those areas, you'll want to seclude them off so that he can't get in there. It's not difficult to certainly accommodate. I mean, they don't make as much mess as a dog, that's for sure. So it's not a big deal. He will not require any veterinary work, which is another huge bonus. He doesn't need like regular vaccines or regular grooming or bathing or anything like that. So basically, a whole lot easier than a dog.
Yeah, what would he eat?
Well, He's a vegetarian, so good news is the poop smells a little better. I hate to do that every time we have TV. I feel like we talk about poop, but it doesn't, which is good. It also means he can eat your compost or your table scraps. He does require a hay roughage type pellet or hay to help him digest, but beyond that, that's all easy peasy. They're super cheap. Especially one that is a free roaming rabbit, because you don't require the shavings and the regular cage cleanings. Quite literally, he uses a box like a cat, so you don't need to do all of that extra work. They are sheddy, as you can see. Again, the hair is a little different, so again, good for the allergy piece. I really like bunnies for seniors. We've talked about this 1,000 times. They're quiet. They smell a little better. They're easy to maintain. Anybody can handle them, and a shorter commitment. And they're travelable, as you can see. I don't know if you can see. Bosco came in a bunny bag, like a purse. You could take them to your grandkids for a visit. Why not? Wouldn't you be popular at Easter? you could have a thing.
Well, I was picturing someone who wanted to be a magician for Halloween.
Yes,
and,
exactly.
Let's say your grandkid wanted to do that. You could provide the prop.
See?
You could bring Bosco Bunny
in a very large hat.
In a large, very large top hat. Yeah, absolutely.
He can squish in this bag.
I think he'd love it. I think he'd love it, because he clearly is no stranger to being handled. He likes the attention.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
It's just a strange pet. But people have goats, and they have pigs, and they have sheep. Like, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
I just have a question about the idea of Bosco running around the house like he's a cat.
Yes.
So I know that he's a rabbit and jumping should not be a hard thing for him.
Yep.
But he could easily hop up on that couch if he was on the floor and just make himself comfortable.
Absolutely.
Wow.
From here, he could jump up on a counter, like for real. If he really, really wanted to, he absolutely could.
So don't leave the carrots out on the counter if you're prepping dinner, because Bosco might be right up there, right?
Yeah, no, they're very able to do that. If he was to be caged in like an X-pen type enclosure, or a playpen, for those who don't know what an X-pen is, you would definitely need a roof, because he might
jump over it.
Leap over it. Yeah,
Wow.
and could, because he can. He can definitely jump higher than me, and I could jump out. Right?
If you're a home with carpets, good or bad for bunnies?
He is going to randomly choose some little fibers of that, and he's going to randomly dig some fibers of that. In saying that, so will your dog and your cat. So no more or less than, probably less than, but you can buy rabbit toys. You can buy, there are rabbit clubs. You could go to the rabbit shows and the rabbit clubs and the rabbit things. There is all of those things available. I mean, my kids did it when they were younger. They had rabbits and they did the whole woohoo show rabbit thing.
Yeah.
It gave them lots of things to do at that time, right?
I think it was like a 4-H thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Hi.
Okay.
Hi, you're warming up. You want to just live here? You could be we could call you Roger Rabbit. Where are you going? Where are you going?
Roger's Rabbit, for sure.
Exactly, with an S.
Oh my goodness. Well, if you're interested in Bosco, definitely get in contact with Renee at the Animal Shelter, 519-372-1123, if you would like to bring that big bunny into your household. Thanks so much, Renee.
Thank you. Good job, Bosco.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
Whoa, I'm not driving. I'm way too stoned. How are you feeling, Beer?
Oh, since we had that talk, I'm not driving tonight at all.
What about you, Dave?
You only had a couple of drinks.
And only a couple of puffs.
I don't drink and drive. No way I'm getting behind the wheel when I smoked weed, too.
How are we getting home, then?
You can drive, Dave.
Come on, Dave.